Welcome back to Mecha Gaikotsu vs. the Backlog, and today I'm taking a look at the Byarlant Custom Band Dessiné version. And once again, I got it from Bai. So first up, jumping right on into the build, and after unboxing this, you get a lot of plastic for what is, well, it's a high grade, but you get a lot in here. I remember building the regular version of the Byarlant Custom. Sadly, I don't have it lying around anymore, but I love that kit to bits, so I can't wait to get this one complete. First impression right here is, inside the box you do get a lot of stickers. This kit is missing a lot of red, which is definitely a disappointment, but we do have a couple of sticker style decals in here. Anyway, let's get it built. So you may or may not know, but the vast majority of this kit right here is based off of 2012's Byarlant Custom, the one, that absolutely awesome one from that kick-ass scene from Gundam Unicorn. You know the one, and if you don't, you need to check it out. One of the best mecha action scenes of all time. Now this is a variant, both a part and a color variant of that particular mobile suit. Of course, this being the Byarlant Unit 2. So yeah, for the most part it is a color swap of a lot of 2012 runners, and everything that's added new is on a pair of runners labeled J for 2014. Now the build of this kit is quite classic, so there is some aspects in here you may or may not want to know about. For example, you do not have the universal backpack adapter on here, and a lot of the parts don't feel like they will be straight out of box kit bashable with other high grades, even from the Universal Century. I know there is a little bit of kit bashability with some of the other Titans mobile suits, specifically the Gaikotsu, that may be just for using with the large long-range thrusters segment, but you'll also have to do a lot of cleanup on here. The knob placement isn't trying to hide any of the knobs. They're all along the edges of lines that end up on seams that are in very visible places. The plastic in here too is brittle compared to more contemporary kits, but on the whole, even though those aspects may sound negative, this, for a 10-year-old high grade, is actually very, very impressive. Let's check it out. As usual, right on into the aesthetics with that spin, and what can I say? This thing is completely off the wall awesome. This has that real Zeta Gundam style with that little bit of a 5-star story kind of vibe with the mecha design, especially those big Gyan-esque boots on it. Once again, I will mention there are a lot of stickers for the red segments on this. Actually, the only really color separated red parts are in the massive butt thruster and in the front of the waist unit and in the sides. Those are the only actual red plastic parts. We've got stickers for inside some of the larger thrusters, but as for the verniers under the arms, those are meant to be red on the inside, so you will have to get painting. This is definitely a kit that I do recommend getting, mainly if you're going to paint a lot of the details, if not the whole thing. Besides the colors though, the proportions and the details are all here. We've got tons of piping, which looks ridiculous. We've got those absolutely ridiculous again style arms that have, well, two actual forearms, as in the forearms and then the big cannons round back of the arms. And then we've got thrusters out the ass, thrusters out the armpits, thrusters out the back of the legs, and those massive cannons up top. This thing is a beast, and it's all topped off with that ridiculously Zeta Gundam bug style head. Now, when I mention the arms on this and just how cool they are, I will once again wind back to the actual Byarlant Custom that we saw in Gundam Unicorn. That had some of the coolest arms ever, which were a big pair of claws with a kind of beam rifle come beam saber setup. Now, that I do miss on this kit, but I will mention we do have a lot of leftover parts. So here's a quick look at all of the leftover parts that come in here, which are really cool, including those absolutely awesome arms. We've got some fuel tanks, some thrusters. This is an adapter for using the Gaikots's thruster segment, and these are the cool heels that would have just came off the back of the Byarlant's foot. Where's the foot? There's the foot. Came right off of the back of that instead of this here heel. So these are what made it a little bit more bestial. So we've got two of these right here, which is the fuel tank, or should I say propellant tank, as well as a thruster. Now this segment right here also would have had two thrusters in it, but those were taken for this kit and transplanted in the bottom of those cannons. But I'm sure you probably have a couple of verniers left over from some kit or another. We're also missing one of the polycaps that would have attached this on, but a bit of glue will get that on there for that big thruster propellant tank combo. But honestly, the coolest leftover aspect are the Byarlant Custom's arms, complete with big old moving claw up on this end, a moving beam saber, beam cannon right here, and these can actually move independently to each other, and all the detail is on here, and the only thing we're missing is the upper arm right here, which once again is being used in the actual kit itself. So now jumping into the accessories, and here's all that comes inside the box, which is just a pair of alternate hands as well as an adapter. As for the adapter in here, this is actually for using as a base adapter, come adapter, for attaching the long-range booster, the big old booster from the gunpla. So of course, that kit is sold separately, and I'm just curious at this moment right here, for those of you who do actually have that kit, is it any good or not? I've been considering picking it up. So as for the pair of hands I've had on this the whole time, that is these fists. These are made out of, well, a whole bunch of parts, about 4 parts in total including the back, and are very nicely detailed. Swapping them out is simple. It's the usual routine of popping it out, it is a ball joint, and then popping in the alternate pair, just like that. Once again, these are a nice looking pair of hands. There's the front, or should I say the inside, and that right there is the look of the outside. So yeah, this right here is a kit that doesn't come with a whole lot of accessories, but why would it need any when it is absolutely armed to the teeth, the base unit itself? So as for the weapons we have on here, we've got the arm-mounted rifles. So according to the Gundam Wiki right here, these are mounted on the Byarlant Custom 02's arms. The pair of long beam rifles are designed with an emphasis on accuracy and can be used for long-range sniper shots. Additionally, a beam blade can be emitted from the weapon's muzzle, allowing for the beam rifle to be used as a long beam saber. By the way, no beams included in the box. So in order to swap these from the stored mode to the ready for action mode, you just pop off this shield like so. The barrel just pops out like this. Flip it around to this end and squeeze it back in again, just like so. And then the shield just reattaches down here, exactly where you took it off from. Funnily enough, these things have handles, so it does mean you need to change out the hand for the open hand like so. Flip out the handle that we've got in there, just like that. And then just bring the handle up into the hand. So now jumping around to the back for the second pair of long-range weapons, and that is the beam cannons. According to the wiki, it says mounted in the Byarlant Custom's back-mounted movable binders. The pair of beam cannons are based on the gunpla's beam rifles and are directly linked to the mobile suit's generator. These beam cannons boast high output and excellent rate of fire. So I assume these are primarily for being used in its flight form. But let's see, can we get these over the shoulders for some kind of shooting pose? Come on, come on, over they go. That looks kind of like it. I'm going to mention at this point in case I forget, this base adapter is quite unreliable. It's sometimes quite likely to fall over because of its weight, but it is a hefty kit. But yeah, there we go. It seems like you can get these posed, pointed over the shoulders, and that looks pretty damn cool. So now jumping into the articulation, and first off, when it comes to the build of this, it is, well, it's pretty good. It's solid for the most part. Nothing has fallen off on me besides the base adapter will disconnect every now and then, but otherwise, it holds up its poses unless you bend the knee and then it might end up kind of flopping back because of its weight. But besides that, if you've got it in your hand like this, it's not going to lose anything. Pretty good. The neck here is a mild giggity goo, but the head does get a little bit blocked because of its general design. So there's all the way up, all the way down, side to side is quite blocked, but for the most part, yeah, a little blocked. At the shoulder here, we've got a little bit of forward and back. There's the shoulder all the way up, all the way down, or at least this part of the shoulder. We've got a bit of rotation there. It is not full. And we've got this little thing here that can kind of close up and down ever so slightly. The next joint right here has a little bit more going on. So well, this first off is a ball joint. This is also a ball joint. We've got the full 360 spin right here. But in order to get this arm to raise up, you actually have to turn it outwards like, well, so you can get that little bit of a hinge that you're seeing right there. So without a single doubt, this makes for a very unique posing experience. You've got another joint here that you can raise this thruster upwards with, and then you've got full ball joint movement of that. Again, right here, hinge for the arm. As for our bend at the... well, there goes the shield. As for our bend at the elbow, it's a single point bend to about 90 degrees, but of course, the cannon here can move independently to that arm, just like so. And we've got a whole bunch of, well, a handle going on here, and a ball joint, as usual, for the wrist. For the waist, we do have a ball joint, so a little bit of forward and back here, a little bit of side to side, and some rotation as well. It can go all the way around, but the backs of the cannons interact a little bit with the butt flap back here. These little skirting segments can rotate on their axis. There is nothing special like a drop inside of the hip joint. So there is the kick all the way up to the front, so not too bad at all. There is the kick all the way out to the back. As for the splits, we get a little bit of a block on this here armor segment, which is on a ball joint. Rotation at the upper leg. It doesn't go all the way around, but gives us plenty. Popping off the leg. There is our bend at the knee, so not too bad for, well, the age and style of the kit. Getting that then on the ground to test the functional movement on the ground. There it is without the toes or heel leaving the ground to the back. There it is to the back, so the other way was to the front. And finally there's the side to side, so quite blocked the ankle. However, we do have a bit of a bend right here, which is very nice at the heel, and the toe can point down at that point, which is probably part of the transformation. And yes, this has a transformation. Let's check it out. But first, this summary about the articulation in general. So it is about, I guess, somewhat subpar for a high grade in 2022, but it did not come out in 2022. It's limited to some degree, but this is a very unique behemoth that moves in its own unique way. This will probably get you all the poses that you want, but you won't get anything exaggerated or over the top. So compared to the standard version of the Byarlant Custom, this one actually has a transformation. However, I will mention it gets a little weird from here. So this transformation, for the most part, looks good up front, and then round back just gets a little bit odd, which I guess doesn't really matter. This is a space use mobile suit, so all it has to do is point the thrust in the right direction, and then nothing's really going to hold it back. So it doesn't necessarily need to be aerodynamic or do anything but move forward. So as for the transformation, first off you need to make sure the arm cannons are in the extended position. Then you flip the arms up over the head, make sure to turn them around a whole bunch of ways including the thrusters, so you end up with this right here, which is both cannons pointing out to the front. Then you're able to grab the shields and lock these arms into position very securely. That's a shield up top and a shield down below, like the buns on a burger. After that, then you take the cannons from around back, flip them up over the shoulders, and these can lock into the slots that are in the forearms like this, which is very secure and gets all the cannons pointing right to the front for some serious beam business. And then from here, it gets a little bit opaque in the manual, and by opaque I mean it just skips a whole bunch of steps. It's like this is some serious draw the rest of the owl going on right here. So the only thing you get is point the toes down, but it doesn't say what to do with the legs. So this is the only thing we get, this picture right here, which is vague. So I thought I'd jump over to the Gundam Wiki to see what they've got on there, some pictures of this flight form, and bam! Same goddamn picture. I'm like, okay, I'll check out the other color version, and bam! Same goddamn picture again. It's like, this flight form is only to be seen from this angle and this angle only. So from those images, I tried to figure out the way the legs would be pointing, get the thrusters pointing in the direction so this thing can move forward very quickly, and this is what you get. So unique flight form, whole bunch of weaponry up front, whole bunch of thrusters around back. What more do you need? So anyway, that right there is it for the review of the premium Bandai exclusive Byarlant Custom Unit 2 Band Dessinée version, which I didn't mention is the actual Riddhe color of this particular unit. There is a alternate color available as well. So what can I say? If you're looking for a ridiculously unique looking suit, especially something that has a Zeta Gundam or Titans kind of feel to it, this will be exactly what you're looking for. But I will mention a lot of the aspects are quite dated. So if you are the type of person who likes to sand down a lot of knobs, do a lot of detail painting, this will be perfect. But if you're looking for a out-of-box build, that will be great out of box. This is good, but not fantastic. The color separation for the most part is very, very nice. The silhouette is beautiful. It looks fantastic. It's got a whole bunch of weapons, and it does have a transformation too, as well as compatibility with the Gaplan's big ol' booster unit. So once again, it is a kit that will need a little bit more time than something you'd see nowadays. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. As always, this video and every video would not be possible without each and every one of you guys who watches my videos. And special thanks to those of you who are supporting me over on Patreon and on the channel members, including Caleb Engelhart, Global Frequency Studios, Go Little Rockstar, Gunpla UK Limited, Joe, Kill Me Inc., Lawrence Seahack, RG59061, and Van Fawn.